Testing. How's it going, guys? I'm going to get started here in about 2 to 3 minutes. Hey, how's it going, guys? We're going to get started here in just a bit. I just want to give people a chance to show up. We want to give everybody probably about 2 more minutes, and then we'll jump into the game. And we're actually going to be playing an epic battle today, so I think you guys will enjoy this. All right, guys. Good to see you here. We've also obviously got some viewers on YouTube as well as Twitch here. So I do want to welcome you guys to our stream. And we're going to go ahead and get started here fairly soon. So we are going to be playing the Battle of Thapsus. Although I'm looking at the amount of people in the stream right now, we only got 6, and usually for a stream like this, we get 40, 50. So I think I'm going to give it another minute. We might still be waiting for the Steam announcement to pop off, and then we'll jump in. Hello and welcome, Richard Wadley Scott. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you for following us, Rohirrim. And we're going to go ahead and get started, guys. We're going to be playing the Battle of Thapsus. I'll essentially give you a little rundown here, and I'm actually just going to read here from the historical data provided. I mean, this in itself is a fascinating conflict to me, but I think what RBS put here is probably sufficient. By 49 BC, the empire ruled by the Roman Republic stretched from modern France and Spain in the west to Syria in the east. With Egypt and other kingdoms of North Africa and the Near East ruled by puppet client kings, however, all was not rosy. The institutions of the Republic were cracking at the seams. Since 91 BC, there had already been several civil wars. By the middle of the century, there were 2 main factions: the politically radical Populares and the conservative Optimates. Caesar belonged to the former faction, and Pompey the Great supported the latter. Now, from what I understand, and this is very, very minuscule, in terms of the Populares, one thing the Populares did believe in was giving, essentially giving some grain to the poor, giving, I think, a weekly amount of grain to the poor. So I guess sort of a modern, well, I should say an ancient welfare state of sorts. But it's far more complex than that. So obviously the Populares were quite popular amongst the common people, whereas the Optimates were much more popular amongst the Senate, amongst the more conservative elements of society. In 50 BC, Julius Caesar's proconsular term expired, and the machinations of his political enemies led to him being called to disband his army and present himself before the Senate, where he would probably be prosecuted for alleged irregularities and war crimes. Rather than submit to this, he took one of his legions and marched on Rome, thus precipitating civil war. The resulting conflict between the Caesarian and Pompeian factions was to span the whole of the empire from Spain and North Africa to Greece and Egypt. In 48 BC, Caesar defeated Pompey at Pharsalus in Greece. Pompey fled to Egypt, where he was assassinated on the orders of King Ptolemy the 13th. And once again, I'll remind you guys that the Egyptians at this time, known as, I guess, the Ptolemayans, they would always call their king Ptolemy and always call their queen Cleopatra. This was common practice. After a dalliance with Queen Cleopatra the 7th of Egypt, Caesar fought an indecisive battle against Titus Labienus in Ruspina in modern Tunisia in January 46 BC. 3 months later, he faced the Pompeians in Tunisia again at Thapsus. This time, they were commanded by Metellus Scipio. So essentially, what happened here at Thapsus was Caesar did win. So we're going to play as the forces of Pompey, as the Optimatus. We want to go ahead and see if we can't jump in. Hey, Roy Armdan and Warrior Donut, good to see both of you guys. So we're going to be playing as the Pompeian faction. We're going to try to change history completely. Obviously, this would probably mean that Pompey and not Caesar would rise to greatness, although I'm thinking that Pompey, as a friend to the Senate, may not have ever attempted to become any sort of real leader, maybe just a sort of placeholder for the senators. So first things first, I'm definitely going to get some Roman legionaries. I love my Roman legionaries. They're excellent in combat. Another thing, though, to consider is that Caesar's legions, according to Richard Bodley Scott, are far stronger. Well, not far stronger, but certainly stronger than the Pompeian legions, and that makes sense. So we definitely want to get some. Well, we already have some elephants. Pardon me. We definitely want to get as many cavalry as we can. The slack Roman legionaries, I really don't trust them to hold their line. But then again, we kind of need them. So I'm going to get 2 units of slack Roman legionaries and 1 unit of light javelin men. And I'm going to accept this. I hope this works. So let's see what happens. Okay, let's accept. Here we go. Okay, so very neat setup, and we can just take a look. We're going to take a look at the armies here. So we're facing the Roman legionaries here, led by Caesar, the Popularis, and they have a lot of men, without a doubt. If we jump over here, we're looking at the Optimatus, led by Pompey, and of course, we're going to be playing as the Optimatus. And look at this cavalry. There's no reason why we can't use that cavalry to our advantage. So for once, I'm going to be taking that cavalry right up the right side and trying to get around the enemy. Of course, all of that turning, it does take a while. Getting to the other side with our cavalry probably won't take too long, but actually turning around to attack the enemy and flank them, that's going to be much more difficult. So right away, we see that we got a lot of slack Roman legionaries here in the front. Quite frankly, not the greatest situation. These guys are not the best fighters, but we have to live with what we've been given. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward with our missile units. And we're about to move this entire group forward. As you guys can see here, look at that. We can't forget about this beautiful elephant. Definitely want the elephant helping here. And we've also got a tremendous amount of cavalry on this left side. And the right side. Let's go over here. So let's go ahead. We're going to move the guys up the right side. And we will end the turn. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to the Caesarians. So they're moving forward with their slingers. 56, man! Oh, 52. These slingers have trained. It's, and they're not just firing at legionaries that are close to one another. They're firing at, essentially javelin men. These guys would be quite far apart. So that amount of casualties is important for the future, and not a good one. I think we're going to get crushed. I want to play today, says Warrior Donut. Well, give us time. Give us time. All right, here we go. We're going to go ahead and move forward. So once again, I'm doing my absolute best to reach this area before the enemy does. Try and trap them in the middle, like basically force them to fight. And that way we can get our cavalry behind them and attack. Again, I think that's going to be a lot easier said than done, because what the enemy's done is they're using the checkerboard pattern, which I really like when I'm playing as the Romans. And what this does is, even if we manage to grab their first 2 lines and get them engaged, those back lines can still turn around. They can still face our cavalry. And, you know, they could potentially stop a flanking maneuver. And we do have 2 elephants. And really, this is a group of 8 elephants. But when I say 2, we've got 2 elephant units. We definitely want to use these guys to try and even the odds a bit. Although, once again, easier said than done. So we're going to keep moving the rest of these guys forward. Actually, we can get them right up there. Hi, Damien. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. I can't remember. I think it was you that asked yesterday whether we would be doing Field of Glory 2 today, and indeed we are. So there you go. Okay, right here we've got Metellus Scipio. For those of you that don't know, the Scipians are just the Scipio family. Obviously had a tremendous amount of power in Rome. Is one of the certainly one of the noble families, and one of the families that was had a great presence in the Senate, for sure. All right, let's keep on moving. I'm going to move my missile units out a little bit more, just because I'm probably going to send them to attack. And then we'll go ahead and end the turn. Once again, over here, I'm going to do the same thing, though, with the missile units. Just move them up a little bit more than our regular cavalry here. And end the turn. Yes, you do. Wow. Damon, well done, man. And again, we should have moved forward with our missile units to start hitting the enemy. We'll have to see. Yeah, actually, I guess he hasn't seen the prize list. Muso, if you can, drop the prize list in the comments down below so that they can see what they're missing. The Caesarians seem pretty confident. Look at that AI. Look at that. So they actually turn towards our cavalry instantly. I mean, they instantly sense that we're moving cavalry around. And again, I told you guys this is what I was worried about, that they would just be too clever to get hit with a flank. And it looks like that could be the case. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to wait and see, I should say. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. So, first things first, we've got to start attacking the slinger units here. So we'll use our own slingers. And we'll do the same with our javelineers here. We're going to go ahead and try to hit them. Now, ideally, I was going to be using these units to only attack the Roman legionaries, but I don't think we're going to have that option necessarily. That being said, this unit is going to focus on the veteran Roman legionaries and try to knock them out before they get here. And I'm not moving forward with any more of my my actual legionaries. So I'm lying, because I am going to move forward just to finish up the checkerboard pattern. But once I'm done with that, I'm going to wait for the Caesarian army to arrive. So here we go. Let's see if we could get up close and personal here with the elephants. Remember, these elephants are going to be extremely powerful in terms of a charge. Wow, 2,500. What the hell is the Zanbot? Do we know about the Zanbot, Muso? What's going on? Yeah, kick Zanbot. Get rid of that thing. All right, here we go. So we're going to start firing here at the cavalry we can see. And these are armored German Gallic cavalry. These guys, if we get a close-up look at these, they look quite pretty. Certainly well armored. And one thing I learned, certainly playing this game, the barbarians, and specifically the Celts, the Gauls, etc., they've actually got pretty decent cavalry units, believe it or not. Their cavalry units are not too shabby at all. So I'm going to keep on chasing here. And I'm going to go ahead and also start turning my cavalry here on the left side. Now, eventually, we probably will take that right-sided cavalry and keep on moving past the enemy and basically just, you know, for lack of a better word, ignore any of the enemy cavalry we spot. But this time I want to go ahead and move up this way. I am going to move these units up as well. And I want them to get involved in this fight and just wipe out the enemy cavalry as quickly as possible. Just taking a look here, making sure I've done everything. I really want to hit that unit of veteran Roman legionaries. 31, baby. Keep it up. Yes, there's absolutely a morale system in place, Rodium. So it's a good question. Right now, we don't have any examples because nobody's disrupted yet. But if you take a look at these flags, essentially, you'll see as we play. But basically, the first thing that happens is the unit gets disrupted. So up here, you'll get a little yellow bar. After that, the unit is essentially panicking. The bar will turn red. And after that, it breaks. So it basically, the unit runs for cover and tries to get away as quickly as possible. It does look like we could start an attack here, but we wouldn't do very well. So I'm just going to turn in the direction of the enemy. I'm not even moving towards them. We're just going to turn in their direction. We've got plenty of missile cavalry here that can deal a lot of damage out before we have to use our cav. And I did say I was going to roll up the right flank, but you know what? Things change as you reassess the situation, and that's certainly the case here. Let's turn these guys. All right, we're still waiting, guys. Let's end the turn. Hope for the best. Turning it over to Caesar. You know, it's not a bad idea, though, what Damien is saying. Something we should probably consider here is having a stream schedule. But what Musa is saying is he's right. You know, we do change a lot of different things. You know, we might come up with a sale idea or something like that that sort of conflicts with the stream. Look at that 56 enemy down, not a single elephant harmed in the making of this production. But it's certainly something we can consider. Maybe we can leave a few days open and, you know, take 3 days where we just put up a schedule so people know what's going on. Okay, here we go. So first things first, I want to see if we can't get a slamming attack here, but unfortunately our elephant is actually not going to do very well against this unit. I'm going to start moving forward with my Roman legionaries, and I definitely want to engage that unit. First thing I'm going to do here is I want to turn and shoot at the Roman legionaries right here. 38, man. The slingers on both sides here and the javelineers on both sides are very, very good. As you can see, we have a small chance to win, but the difference is almost negligible. You know, the difference is like a few percentage points. So this is going to be a very interesting fight, and we can actually zoom around and just take a look here. Sorry, let me turn the settings. We always have really low scroll speed. Let's try that. And you can see there, I mean, that's a really neat fight going on. I want to move these guys forward as well, but I think we can wait a little bit. And as you can see right here, things are very different. So we've got those slack Roman legionaries, essentially Roman legionaries that aren't trained very well. And you can see here the chances of a win are 4%, the chances of a loss 25%. Yeah, that's definitely, those are not good odds. I wouldn't take those odds. So I'm going to fall back with my slack Roman legionaries. I'll let the enemy come to us. If they do end up coming to us, maybe we can trap them in here and basically chop these units up little by little, if that makes any sense. Essentially force them to attack us and then just cut their units apart. It's a risk, but it could work. Let's go ahead and actually, yeah, we'll throw it at this unit. 28. Once again, I'm not going to fall back with this unit, but we're not going to charge. We just don't have the, we don't really have the attack power to be able to win these fights. As you can see there, the impact is just not good enough. Let's go ahead, fire. Fire. And look at that, once again, the Romans are getting ready to charge us here. I'm going to move the elephant over here. I'm almost certain they're going to be able to catch him. I hope not, but it's quite possible. Turn this unit facing the enemy, and I'm going to take my Roman legionaries. And even here, man, this is tough. Even here, we actually face a negative situation. And the reason being, these are veteran Roman legionaries. Remember, Caesar has been leading his men through Spain, through Gaul, for years. So his men, they know him, they love him. And Pompey's men love him too, to a lesser degree, but they're not all as well trained. We have to keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and just start moving a little bit closer here. But as soon as those enemies charge us and start attacking our men, we need these cavalry units prepared to go to war. One thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn and shoot. 28, that's pretty good. Turn and shoot over here. So I believe Richard will probably let you know exactly, but I believe it's 48. I believe it's quite a lot. Quite a significant amount. So I'm going to go ahead and actually charge the armored Gallic cavalry. And of course, this enemy's armored, but look at that. We actually managed to take down 59 of them, which is not bad at all. And over here, we don't even have a chance of winning. However, this is a big however, and welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. $42 down. We've got Titus Labienus right here. It would be a shame if Titus Labienus died during this battle. So I think I'm going to try to get a flanking attack on the enemy. Once again, it's just not looking very good. What we're going to do is we're going to trap them here with Titus Labienus. And look at that. He actually fragmented Titus Labienus. He fragmented him. So he went all the way to red. Somebody was asking about the morale system. Look at that. Usually it's yellow-red, but they managed to fragment us right away. Marcus Messala. I'm sure they're going to be laughing about that fight later. And let's go ahead and send these guys in as well. Once again, just sort of cornering the enemy. I'm going to corner him over here too. And basically just try to force a flank attack. Go ahead. We've got to use these cavalry units. I mean, if we have this many cavalry units, there's a reason for it. We can't just keep them back not really doing much. They need to be effective in battle. So right here already, that was a possibility, I thought. Here we can actually maybe get a fight, maybe get a nice attack on Gnaeus Domitius, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just start throwing some shots at him. And yes, Damien, you're absolutely right, man. Thank you, Richard. So yes, 48 factions, but not all in any one campaign. That makes sense. So actually here, now that we've weakened these guys a bit, you can see now that our chance of winning has increased somewhat. Our impact chance of a win is still not great, but look at that. We actually lowered them to 66. That's not too shabby at all. And we're going to, of course, bring in some more men. But I want to make sure that we have them in the right position here. We have to be very careful during this battle that we don't make a single mistake. And in general, that's the case with a lot of battles in this game, and most battles in this game. A single mistake could really cost you that battle. And especially in this one, since the units are so similar, we've got to come out on top somehow. So I'm going to go ahead and keep moving forward with this cavalry, keep moving forward with this cavalry as well, and try to get these guys still behind the enemy units. But at the same time, we've got to make sure that none of our units break over here and cause a rupture in the line. That would be very bad. Okay. We pretty much set our boys up for success. I mean, as best as we could. And as you guys know, historically speaking, the Caesarians won this battle. So we've got a lot of slack Roman legionaries here, a ton of them actually. And to beat the enemy, we're going to have to get that attack. We're going to have to get that flank attack. Let's go ahead and turn here. Here we go. Wow, 182, and they disrupted us. That was just vicious. So those veteran Roman legionaries dealt us 182 damage, or 182 casualties, really. Now, those casualties could be wounded men, they could be dead men. We really don't know until the end of the battle when we get the casualties list, although I think there's a way, I could be wrong, I think there's a way to look at the casualties list before the end of the battle. I could be wrong. But yeah, that was a brutal attack, without a doubt. Just not good. Let's put it that way. Just not good. And we've been doing quite well in this game so far, so if this is a major defeat, which it's looking like it could end up being, I won't feel too bad. I hope you guys don't either. Here we go, 56 down, but they're not fragmenting. Now, we did manage to fragment these units here. That's great. Well, we didn't fragment them, but we dealt quite a lot of damage there. So let's keep on fighting. It's all we can really do now. Okay, so our plan, and I'm hoping it's working here, was to keep Marcus Masala stuck. Pepper him with some missile units. And basically just hold him here. Don't let him leave. We'll move this missile unit forward as well. And killing one of the enemy's generals, I think, would be a huge victory. You know, it wouldn't be certain victory for us in the battle, but it would be really, really helpful. As you can see, just no real way we can attack these guys without either them evading or us just not doing a lot of damage. So I'm going to keep chasing them. Unfortunately, we're a bit late here to catch them. But we'll start getting set up for another situation here. Thank you, Richard. So we're taking a look here, guys, at the casualties list. And this is actually a very, very good explanation of how casualties at this time would happen. Obviously, there would always be a lot more wounded than there would be dead. I mean, that's more or less true in most wars, and especially true for ancient battles. So, you know, you might get a nasty gladius cut to the chest. Hopefully, it's not too deep, and, you know, you can get sewn up and hopefully recover and not get some nasty infection. But as you can see, the casualties are starting to mount up, for sure, during this battle. It's nothing huge yet, but it's getting there, for sure. All right, let's move back. We've still got this elephant unit here. I think with an impact attack. Well, sadly, we can't really do an impact attack. 129. Yes, we paid back the difference there on the enemy. So I'm definitely... No, I said I was definitely going to charge. I lied. Let's go ahead and fire at the veteran Roman legionaries. Some slingers to attack. Ooh, sorry about that, guys. It doesn't look like we're going to get a good attack here on the enemy. Look at that. Our chance of a loss is 22%, and even during combat, it's still quite high. So for now, we're once again going to kind of play it cool. And then again, maybe that's not the best idea. This is one of the more confusing battles to me, because if they flank attack our Roman legionaries, well, then our Roman legionaries definitely lose. So I'm thinking maybe we should lock them into combat just to keep them here. I'm going to do it. I don't think it's a good idea, but what the hell? We might as well take a chance. Take a risk. And over here, so they're already attacking our slack Roman legionaries. I'm going to move these guys up, and hopefully we can assist our friends here, although the chances of that are quite low. Once again, we don't have the strongest units by any stretch of the imagination, and it shows, because every single time we try to attack here, the loss percentage is far higher than the win percentage. Here we actually stand a chance. Come on, boys. 59, 56. We've got to accept it. I'll go ahead and move forward. Start throwing some javelins. Once again, not the greatest charge in the world. I do want to move forward, but I guess this guy's cutting us off from being able to do that. Let's see how our elephant would fare in this battle. Once again, not very good. Rome's legions are just too powerful for us. A lot of people have been asking about the campaign, so maybe we'll take a look at that. I will say, this is one battle where I just don't feel very confident. I can imagine Pompey probably felt very similar. So let's see here. No, we can't do that. Even though the odds are against us, I'm taking the chance here. You do have to gamble a little bit when you play this game, especially in battles like this. You're certainly going to find yourself in situations where you have to make really tough decisions that could end in total failure. You know, they're not necessarily going to work. So keep that in mind when you play. Let's go ahead and attack over here as well. Start moving the rest of our cavalry around the enemy here. Yeah, I think they answered you pretty well there. Yeah, it's just disperses. I mean, from my understanding, and I've talked with Rich here about it before. I've asked him about it. I think basically dispersal means one of two things. It means you've either surrendered to the enemy, or it means that your men are basically have just dropped their weapons and are running in panic. You know, just trying their best to get away from the battle, so that they don't meet the same fate as their friends. But I think that's really, it's quite subjective. All right, let's see. And I think we're going to end the turn. Again, I'm not going to send these slack legionaries in for any heavy lifting, let's put it that way. So we'll end the turn and turn it over to the Caesarians. Oh, they already broke a cavalry unit. So that's the first break there. As you can see, also, Rorim, I don't know if you noticed what just happened there, but another thing that happens is the units surrounding the unit that runs, they have to take a morale check. If they fail that morale check, they also run, or they get fragmented, one or the other. Hey, Wavell, how you doing, man? The minimap looks like a Joker smile, yes, and right now the Joker is Caesar because he's kicking my butt. There's no doubt about it. And I will say this is the last epic battle available. Rich, I'm not sure if you put these up in order of difficulty, but so far this is for me the toughest one. He needs to whiten his teeth, and yes, or go to a dentist for a badly, desperately needed root canal. Here we go. So they managed to push back our raw legionaries. Doesn't surprise me in the slightest. $175. Just, you see the difference between trained Roman legionaries and raw legionaries? The difference is incredible. 1 to 4. I mean, that's just crazy. So for every 4 of our raw legionaries they kill, we kill 1 of theirs. That's not a winning combination at all. $42 once again. Come on, elephants. So there he actually killed 3 elephants. 3 damage to an elephant unit, believe it or not, is quite high. You have to keep in mind that the elephant units, they don't hold as many elephants as the legionary units hold men, for instance. It just doesn't work like that. So 3 is a lot. It really is. Okay, let's see what we can do, if anything. If anything, it's a big if. Let's go for it. Come on, boys. For Pompeii. Oh, we might actually be able to win against these guys. 94, they held firm. Those damn legionaries. They're too well trained. They're way too well trained. Over here, we actually, yeah, once again, not looking good. But I wanted to try this out. I'm going to go ahead and go through with my plan. And that plan is to basically trap these guys and attack them from 3 different points. It might not work, but I want to test it out and see what happens. After all, we are playing as Pompey. We did historically lose this battle anyway. So, indeed, Rich makes a good point. Or 4 hours and 1 lucky win on roulette. That also works. Let's see. What to do, what to do. All right, so we actually managed to do a very good job there. Unfortunately, as you can see, this unit is about to break. There's no way in the game to pull your units away from combat. There's no way to retreat from a fight you've already started, if that makes any sense to you guys. So this unit will more than likely break. I mean, it's almost certain that they'll break. Now, when they do break, I'm hoping that these guys can step in and fill the gaps. But that being said, it's not going to win us any sort of favors. But, you know, it'll allow us to continue the battle a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. That whole thing. Let's go ahead and move forward. Here we go. I'd love to go after their slingers, but that's not going to go well anyway. What to do? Yeah, I'm stumped. I am stumped. Like, really, really stumped for this fight. Go ahead and turn towards the enemy. We'll turn and fire at the enemy. Do the same with this unit. And try to get a flanking attack on the cavalry. I was really hoping that that was going to happen this turn. It doesn't look like it is. Attacking the veteran legionaries would be a death sentence for us. But that doesn't mean we can't take our missile units and try to get behind the enemy like we're doing here. So that's what we're going to try to do. Again, may or may not work. Ah, thank you, Richard. I'm seeing that the terrain is quite flat here, but I think I'm ignoring a lot of the positions where we could probably be flanking the enemy. Let's take a look over here. So, for instance, we've got some rough ground here. How could we use the rough ground to our advantage? That's a good question. So let's see. So I guess, Richard, would we want to be on rough ground, attacking the enemy on normal ground, or vice versa? That would be my question. Let's move forward, and I really want to attack this unit, but I know better, so I'm going to stay put. I will, however, turn this way. Even if we get a flank attack with some slack Roman legionaries into Roman legionary unit, the honest truth is we could still possibly break the unit. I mean, obviously a flank charge is extremely disruptive, so there's a tiny chance, it's a very tiny chance, very, very tiny chance, but there's a tiny chance that with that attack, we could break the enemy. Okay, by not being in it and the enemy attacking, however, the AI probably won't oblige you. Yeah, I can see that. The AI, I was amazed at how quickly they reacted to my movements with my cavalry. As soon as I started moving up the left side, it's almost like one of those paintings that follows you. These guys just turned and they were like, Two veteran Roman legionary units just looked. They're like, nope, you're not doing that. Not without our approval. I could tell right away that that was not going to work out. We'll move these guys into the gap. We can't get a kill there, but... I think we can go ahead and end here, end the turn, I should say. I do, however, want to show you guys the... hey, Dogs of War, how you doing, man? I do, however, want to show you guys the campaign system because Richard was talking about it quite a bit here, and I saw a lot of you asking about it, so we want to go and take a look at that. This battle is an epic battle, so it would likely take quite a long time to finish, and I must say I don't trust myself in this battle. This is the least confident I've been for a battle in Field of Glory 2. It's just tough, man. It's really a tough one. Obviously, playing as Caesar, it's going to be a lot easier. We chose Pompey because I wanted a challenge, but had I known the challenge was going to be like this, I think I may have done things a little bit differently. That being said, we will save this battle, so I'm going to save this under Pompey. We have a lot of other saves as well, some that we're basically doing videos with. Some of these saves we have from previous campaigns that we've done, and as a matter of fact, let's see, was it Pontus? We had a campaign save here. Yes, absolutely, Byron. Absolutely. They're keeping the units, well, behind them in reserve, and had I tried to flank them, there's a very, very good chance that those units would have actually turned around and fought us and does something. Oh no! You know what? They should take their money back. These guys spend far too many slips. Let's return to the main menu. So we're going to go into a campaign. I want to show you guys the campaign system. So as Richard mentioned, we've got 5 different campaign types. We've got the Rise of Rome campaigns. We've got the Julius Caesar campaign. And keep in mind, down here below launch, you can actually see a little explanation of what the campaign entails. Now, just if I take the Julius Caesar campaign, for instance, let's say I'm launching this campaign here. I do want to show you guys this. As you can see, as Julius Caesar, I am starting as Caesar himself. I'm going to create the campaign here. And so, as you can see, in that campaign, I have no real decision as to who I start with. It's not always a bad thing because, well, let's be honest, Caesar's awesome. But if I take, for instance, the Rise of Rome campaign, and I launch that, let's go ahead and take a look. And now, with the Rise of Rome campaigns, we can actually pick our army list. So you could go to potluck. Potluck essentially just means it's going to be completely randomized, basically like drawing something out of a hat. But these are the different possibilities. I mean, you just look at all of these different possibilities of campaigns you can play as. What I usually like to do is I like to take historically realistic campaigns, so Romans versus Gauls, etc. But you can be as crazy as you want. I mean, if we wanted, we could take the Jewish tribes here, the tribes of Judea, essentially, against, let's go crazy. Against maybe, actually, not too crazy, but against Galatians or Pont. No, these are actually pretty believable battles, believe it or not. These are actually pretty believable battles, fairly around the same area, but pretty interesting stuff. So we're going to go back, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to play the Julius Caesar campaign. Now, of course, we could... Wow! Well done, Rich. Well done. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and... do the Rise of Rome campaign. But before I do, I want to go ahead and show you Hannibal. Sorry, not the Rise of Rome, Julius Caesar. We could also do the Hannibal campaign. Let's keep on looking here. We've got the Mithridates the Sixth. We've got Pyros of Epeiros. And this is about Pyros, the kingdom of northwest Greece. So if you like your phalanxes, you like that stuff, this is definitely a campaign you want to check out. Now, that being said, we're going to go with Julius Caesar. We're launching this, and let's see how we do. So there's 2 different campaign types. The static campaign is basically the difficulty level remains the same throughout. That's one possibility. Progressive means that for each battle you play, that's going to get tougher and tougher and tougher and tougher. Which makes sense. I'm keeping it on static. I'll show you guys the different difficulty settings. So there's governor, there's emperor, and there's deity. So essentially you're a god if you can win here. And the easier difficulty settings would be tribune and centurion. I always take legate. I sometimes go for governor, especially if I'm at home playing alone or something like that. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and just take that. So let's go ahead and create. So, as governor of the provinces of Cisalpine and Transalpine Gaul, northern Italy, and the southern coast of France, you command 4 legions. You have raised 2 more and have marched to repel a mass migration by the Helvetii into the territories of the other southern Gallic tribes. Unbelievable. So just imagine you've got this tribe of people that are starving, they're desperate for some food, they're crossing a river, but there's a lot of them, and your job is to stop those people. And they've got warriors with them. It's tough. Byron, the difference between difficulty levels, it's pretty significant. Wow. How is Rich doing that? Okay, so let's first of all set up the battle, guys. I definitely want to take some awesome Roman legionaries. So let's take some of those. 2, 3, 4. Thodophori are lightly equipped spearmen, and actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through this army list so you guys get a look at every single one of the units, or at least a few of the more interesting units, and you can kind of see what they look like. Obviously, there's troop quality levels, there's troop armor levels, etc. I'm going to take one elephant, Take 2 noble cavalry. I'll take... Unfortunately, I can't take any more Roman legionaries. I could take some veteran Roman legionaries, though. That I could do. I think I'm pretty low on javeliniers, so I'm going to take some javelin men. From what I understand, during the time of these battles, it was not uncommon for an army to have javelin men and legionaries 50-50. So in other words, you'd have 50% of the army would be javelin men, 50% would be legionaries, and this tended to work out pretty well. I'm going to take some Cretan archers and some regular archers, and we'll accept. So that's going to be our setup. Now, we actually have the setup phase, so we can go ahead and start putting these guys on the field, just like if you were playing an actual miniatures game. So I'm definitely going to be dropping some of our archers, our missile units over here in the front. And as for our Spanish Scutati, I'll be honest with you guys. I do like these Spanish Scutati. They're very cool. That being said, and I like them a lot, specifically because my favorite faction are the Sertorians, the Spanish Sertorians. However, you've got to really use them properly. If you don't use the Scutati properly, they can be broken quite easily. So I don't know if I want to put them on the front lines. I don't think that would be a good idea. I think I'm going to keep them as our reserve units. We want to put our Roman legionaries on the front lines. And I usually use a checkerboard pattern. I'm kind of breaking my own rules here. So from now on, we'll try to keep that checkerboard pattern. Let's go ahead. Here we go. We've got a general here, Papinus Brocchus. Good. I'm glad. The person saying it's too scary, Damien Notish, I'm glad, man. Betting is not a good thing unless you're winning. And if you are winning, you should probably take your winnings and just stop there. That's what I recommend to everybody here. But of course, you guys are going to keep playing roulette. I know it. I know it. Put that elephant up there. Let's see. We've also got Julius Caesar himself. Now, of course, we're going to keep Caesar in the back here. I don't want him getting hurt. See, I'm once again getting rid of the Spanish Scutati. Okay, let's end the turn, guys. So now we get to see what the Gallic tribes have brought to us. Look at that. They have a lot of men. These warbands are exceptional. I also noticed one really fascinating difference between the warband units. These are the regular warbands, these right here. Do you guys notice that one of these warband units, and tell me in the chat if you do, looks a little more colorful than the others? Does anybody see that? Now there's 2 reasons in this case. And one of the reasons is this has a general in it. But the second reason is this is a superior warband. So they're going to have some nicer uniforms, some better armor, etc. than the regular warbands. That being said, the warbands are pretty damn effective. They really are. They're a vicious bunch, and they are not afraid to attack you in an offensive attack at all. You know, they're really great at offense. So we're going to meet them in battle. Look at that whole group moving. That's beautiful. And we're going to go ahead and call their bluff. I think we can beat them pretty much. I'm probably going to have to extend this line out a bit, so I might move some men. But as you can see, this river is causing some trouble for us. This is definitely going to be a bit of commotion here. Okay, let's end the turn. Wow, so look at that. The Gauls are staying put, and there's a reason for this. You know, Richard earlier was talking about using the terrain. Right here, they've got a nice slope. The slope has a height, so obviously to get up here, we're going to actually have to walk up. And I could see why they would want to wait here. This is a really nice spot for the enemy to be. They've also got some open ground here, I guess, but some of this is forested area, tracks, etc., built-up area. This looks like a pretty good area to have a fight, put it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and move these guys forward, keep getting closer to the enemy. I think we're going to have to make the first move. Almost certain that's going to be the case. And as you can see, guys, I could be moving these guys individually if I wanted to. I don't see the point in doing that, though. We more or less know what we want to do here. But if you want, you don't have to move like I've been moving, you know, all at once. You can move each of these guys individually. You know, you can move this guy over here. You can move this guy over here. It's really up to you. All right, let's end the turn. Damn barbarians! It won't be fair. Well, we're definitely going to have to attack them now. And we also have to be careful here, because if you look at the difference, the enemy could roll on us. Generally, rolling in this situation means flanking us and attacking our sides and basically pushing us all over here and just destroying our army. So that's definitely a concern. And yes, a very good point. We have no cavalry in this battle. It's going to make things a little bit harder for us. But I feel confident that we can beat the enemy in close combat. That being said, we got to get there first, right? 30. Nice. Good shot, men. Fortunately, we're not going to be able to fire up this hill. And once again, I could see why the enemy went here. Move Julius Caesar up as well. This is the campaign, actually. This is the campaign. We're playing the Julius Caesar campaign. I'm not sure if we can finish it by the end of the stream, but we're certainly going to try. We can't finish the whole campaign for sure, but I'm talking about this first battle. And sure enough, look at that. The Gauls are coming down the hill. So maybe they've become restless. Maybe they're going to go ahead and attack. I hope so, because I want them in that open ground to smash them with as much power as possible and just try to wipe them off the map. Excuse me, guys. All right, here we go. Once again, we're going to have to move forward. But I think I'm going to go ahead and try to target one unit with a lot of damage here. So we're going to just basically fire. Hopefully our warband has the wherewithal to run away as soon as they have the chance, and they probably will. But you always want to just be extra careful. Let's move these Thracians forward. Let's move these Thracians forward. Just trying to perfect that checkerboard pattern as best I can without changing too much of what we're doing here. Let's do this. Let's do this. And as you can see, now I'm moving the guys individually. And this is because I already have a plan in mind for the checkerboard pattern, and I want to make sure we get it correct. So, we got to be careful here of the barbarian archers in the woods. I can imagine Rich was telling me to watch how I use cover, and I can imagine that that's probably very good cover for that unit. So they could cause us some troubles. Move forward with the elephants. Was that a war cry? Okay, here we go. Keep on moving. That's a lot of Gauls. It certainly is. And this is actually following something that actually happened historically when I believe it was the Helvetii tribes. Again, Alexios can probably let you guys know better than me. That were trying to, the area they were in just didn't have the resources necessary to feed the entire population. So they were kind of trying to migrate into a neighboring tribe's territory, and the Romans, particularly Julius Caesar in this case, had to put a stop to that. They just couldn't allow it. So Julius had to, unfortunately, it wasn't just, historically he wasn't just fighting warriors. I'm sure women and children were also there, but at this time they weren't really considered. Barbarians were considered barbarians, as it were. They weren't considered humans. Or at least they were considered the very lowest form of humans. The Helvetii, thank you. All right, let's, we're going to smash into the center. But I do kind of want to have a sloped angle here, just in case that cavalry decides to attack. Let's end the turn. There we go. Sure enough, our guys evaded, but they actually managed to catch our guys. Damn it. They broke our unit, first blood to the Gauls. I thought our guys were going to be able to run away, and in most cases they can. In this case, they were not able to get away in time, and they suffered for it. But look at that. They tried to attack our elephants, and we just wiped out 140 of them. So, I mean, these Gauls, they could take the elephants out, but they've never seen elephants before. This is terrifying to them. We're just wiping them away with this elephant unit. And once we follow up with some trained legionaries, I think we can take this battle and make it a victory. I'm almost certain that's going to be the case. All right, let's give them some Roman courage here. We've got to show these guys that they are not going to win this fight, and we could start with a nice attack. Look at that, 215. We've pushed back a group of Gauls already. I'm going to go ahead and attack once again with this unit, some more Roman legionaries. It would be amazing if we could break this unit. We can't, but you could see one of the guys fall down there, pill him through his back. That's the way we like it. Let's go ahead and attack once again. We're going to show these Gauls we mean business. They can either choose to be slaves of Rome, turn away and let go of their horrific barbarian ways, or they could just be killed. One or the other. You know, beggars can't be choosers. So we'll go ahead and see what happens. So some of these guys I am going to keep behind. And you can see we've got some sub-generals here that are using veteran legionary units, so very effective. I want to go ahead and use my javelin. No, I don't want to attack with my javelin, man. No, no, no. That's not what I want at all. Let's turn and fire with our archers. And I definitely want to try and hit this unit. So we're going to go for the warband. But as you can see, our actual impact with the Thracians would not be strong enough to break the warband unit. What I'm going to do is pull back, fall back. I'm going to move my legionaries into line. I think this is the right call. I could be wrong, but I really think this is the right call. So let's go ahead, fire here. Go, boys. 90 and 100. I mean, these are not your mother's casualty rates. I mean, these are serious casualties, as you can imagine. Let's move forward a bit. We've got a lot of guys here on the right side that I feel could probably be used more on the left. So I'm going to move some of them over here. And as for these remaining ones, we want to keep moving forward. Even with the Spanish Scutari, we want to try to make them as effective as possible. And we'll end the turn. So yeah, this is what I was worried about, the enemy outflanking us. But I think we could fight through this flank, believe it or not. The enemy held firm over here, incredibly. We've got to break through, and I'm certain we can do that. Now, this is the concern. The enemy is attacking us. Now, one very cool thing is that our legionaries, you know, they're capable of taking on cavalry units, 100%. I mean, they don't have those large shields for nothing, and it's recently been discovered that the pilum was not just used as a throwing weapon, but could also be used in a defensive capacity as a spear. So even the extra weapon these guys are taking, by the way, we just broke a unit, beautiful, but even the extra pilum these guys are taking could be used against the cavalry. So, you know, it's really up to the unit how they use it. There we go, we've disrupted another infantry unit. Keep it up, boys, keep it up. Thanks, guys. Okay, here we go. So let's see if we can't break this unit right here. We just got poorly armed rabble. That's great, Rich. I like the name of this unit, poorly armed rabble. That's great. I mean, you don't get much more descriptive than that. Just a mob, unmaneuverable, untrained, unprotected, no capabilities. Yeah, we'll kill him. Let's go for it. I mean, that's hilarious. 345. Wow. Oh man, that was intense. 345. We could attack here, and we probably should, but I'm probably going to go for the poorly armed rabble. Well, yeah, we'll go ahead and attack. The poorly armed rabble we can take out at any point. As for the warband unit, that's not as easy to take out. And once again, I'm going to show you guys here. So this is actually a noble cavalry unit. And so they've actually got some noble cavalry, and you can see that our Roman legionaries, if we attack, look at that, our impact chance is actually quite high. We can probably knock these guys off their horses. They're going to run away. And sure enough, I mean, we are definitely proficient against cavalry. So with those enemies attacking us on the left flank, we need to do everything in our power to try and face them with some legionaries. There we go. Our Spanish Scutari are coming in to finish off the barbarian warriors. And I hope they do a good job. Oh, I love the poorly armed rabble. That's great. Let's go, boys. Let's see. Yeah, that's not good. We got to figure that out, Cheeto. The Zanbot thing. No worries, man. Sorry about that. The issue there is we have no idea where that bot came from. I don't think it's anything terrible, but there we go. 240. Wow. Pushing back some more units. So let's take these legionaries, and I'm actually just going to turn. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to turn towards the enemy. We're not even moving, nothing like that. We're just turning towards the enemy. We could possibly break this unit this turn. Pretty unlikely, but you can see there the amount of casualties we're starting to get here. They're really mounting up. There we go. Look at that. We disrupted some cavalry just with a shot from our archers. You really can't hope for better than that. I'll move these archers up as well. They're not going to be able to fire into this group of enemies because these enemies are mostly engaged in combat. They probably could shoot this warband, of course, but I'd rather that we actually use them against the enemy cavalry unit. It looks like we can already get started at this distance. There's only 5 cavalry that were down there, but even 1 noble cavalry down is a good day for me. I mean, they are tough opponents. Go ahead and hit these guys with the elephant. 75, but they're still hanging in there. That's the frustrating part. Let's see. Anything else we can do here? I don't think so. I think we've done everything, but I always like to just move through, and you can press tab to basically move through your men. Make sure that you've moved everybody. And over here, we've already got some units we haven't moved, so I'm glad that we checked that out. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And we'll end our turn here and hope for the best, guys. Look at that poorly armed rabble running. Poorly armed rabble is officially my favorite unit. I think I just love it. Safe to say that the unit in the Pontic army are the ones in the historical Pontic army. I recommend Appian's Mithridatic War. Very cool. And the casualty count here is very, very epic. I mean, these are casualties of biblical proportions. And by the end of the battle, they're going to be much worse, of course. The cavalry, the enemy cavalry, does concern me a little bit. The reason it doesn't concern me too much is primarily because I think we can probably break their barbarian central line before the cavalry even gets to us. So, in other words, we're going to beat them before they flank us, I think. I might be a little overconfident there, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. Come on, boys. Poorly Armed Rabble, I like that. A good band name. A good punk band. That would be a great punk band name. The Poorly Armed Rabble. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. Alexios is cleaning up. He's just cleaning out the house. Okay, so we've got one of these units nice and trapped, but I'm actually more concerned with, number one, the units that are not engaged in combat, because they could pose a threat, a flanking threat to us. But we could take these veteran Roman legionaries, and I think we can break this warband. Boom, 205, they're broken. Get out of here. Sure enough, the enemy held firm. Well, at least they're brave. But they're still stupid barbarians. Kill them. There we go. We need some, like, sound effects here. I would love Dom DeLuise from History of the World playing the Emperor. Just kill them or kill him. One of those nice little soundboards would be great. 125 here. Get the poorly armed rabble. Wow, these guys are still not breaking. It kind of surprises me. There we go, 145, they're fragmented, and I think we can disperse them this turn. Unfortunately, we're still fighting the cavalry. If not this turn, next turn. 130, they held firm. They actually held firm. I'm surprised. Keep moving this guy over. And we can already start taking on the enemy cavalry units. $80, come on. Got to break this unit here. Actually, our chance of a victory there is quite low. Here, though, we definitely have a chance at a win. So let's already start dealing with the enemy here. I'm going to go ahead and try to attack. I think they're going to evade. Sure enough, that's exactly what they did. But now we've got a nice unit here sort of covering our backs. Ooh, nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like our Thracians are going to be very effective against the warband close order. I'm guessing that once we actually get stuck into a fight with some Roman legionaries against the warband, the Thracians will come in a little more handy. As of right now, they're not going to be helping too much. They're just going to kind of hang back, and we're going to hope for the best. Let's see. And I'd love to attack with another unit, but the fact is, we just don't have enough room here. We've got to wait. We're basically engaged in combat all throughout this line, and we're not in a position to attack anything right this second. Okay, let's go ahead and end the turn. $240, man, and that's actually an enemy general unit, so I can kind of understand that casualty. That's rough. That's just some good old Gallic bravery. And there we go, one of the enemy units rallied there, probably because of that nice attack. Actually, if you look underneath the warband unit, and we'll take a look again, we'll get a nice close-up, but there's actually a dead Roman legionary under it. So that's unfortunate. Now they're charging us from multiple angles. Well, we could be in some trouble here, for sure. But again, I still think we can break them before anything serious happens. Wow, the enemy stood firm despite losing 200 casualties. Oh, absolutely, Byron. Absolutely. We actually saw it on the first battle we did. We were trying to flank the enemy with some cavalry, and we saw their eyes just basically turn towards us like, no, no, no. We're not going to allow you to do that. 105. Can we break the poorly armed rabble here? 300. My goodness. We killed 300, and they're still standing their ground. At least we got those archers out of the way finally. Well, I think that at this point, just need to keep on attacking. Go, Caesar! We're attacking with Caesar. 300 of the enemy down. They're fragmented as well. Unfortunately, they're not breaking yet, but that poorly armed rabble is going to be a ton of just guys running. It's really going to help us out. Remember, when one unit runs, the units surrounding it of the same faction have to do a morale check. So anytime we get a unit to run, there's a tiny, tiny chance that we're going to get the surrounding units to run as well. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, and something I always have in the back of my mind when I'm playing Field of Glory 2. Let's get a nice flank charge here with veteran legionaries. Elam, 300, they're fragmented. They're not looking too good. And let's hit them again. And they held firm. Damn it. These barbarians, they're so brave. So brave, but so dumb. All right, let's go ahead and keep attacking. A lot in the poorly armed rabble. A whole lot. So actually we could do okay here with the Thracians against the cavalry. Look at that. 2 of the enemy units evaded us. So if this is one way of keeping the enemy cavalry away from us, so be it. You know, we'll use our Thracians to just kind of run them off here. It might actually work out pretty well for us. That being said, guys, we are getting to the end of our stream. So I do want you guys to try and fit in as many questions as you can. We've got the creator himself here with us. Well, not here at the office, but he's in the chat. If you guys have any questions, anything, this is now definitely the time to go ahead and ask and try to get some answers. Let's see. Nope, that's not going to work. That's definitely not going to work. So I think what I want to do, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to move this unit back to do it. I'm going to try to move out of the way with this Spanish Scudati and move forward with the Roman legionaries. Easier said than done, right? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and end the turn. Really quickly here, you can see some bodies already on the floor. I can promise you by the end of the battle, this floor is covered in bodies, and it's something I really appreciate in terms of art direction of the game, is being able to see the enemy dead. I mean, that's part of the fun. And over here, we've actually got a Roman unit trapped behind the enemy lines. He's not looking too good, but who knows? Maybe he'll make it back. Maybe he's just wounded. We don't know. Let's end the turn. They actually managed to fragment our units on the right side. Once again, our guys are fighting so bravely. I mean, they're holding firm despite the fact that they're being crushed. It's not happening all along the line. By no means are we losing this battle. But that being said, there are positions where our men are a bit weaker, and they're holding on. Let's hope they can keep holding on. Good suggestion, Siri. Get old Caesar to support the fragmented corps. I like the suggestion. Unfortunately, I think Caesar is already engaged in combat with poorly armed rabble. Managed to push them back. Very nice. This is actually... No, it's not Caesar fighting. This is Caesar fighting. 375. He broke the enemy. He's going to go ahead and attack the other group of poorly armed rabble. And he's probably going to get another rout on the enemy side. Look at that. Another group of enemies breaking, guys. Just got to keep this up a little bit longer. And our men are still holding firm. I hope they can keep it up. There's not many of them left. You can see a lot of dead Romans in that space, and it's incredible that this unit has held on as long as they have. Yeah, we saw that, Byron. What we were trying to do, though, is I was under the impression, and I still am, that we can break the center before the left ever gets here. So I think that's still the case. It may not be. Again, I could be wrong. But I'm not too concerned about the left flank, believe it or not, in this battle. Flank charge with the javelin men. Enemy is disrupted. So you can see, when it comes to a flank charge, it doesn't matter if you're using legionaries. I mean, if you have a unit that can flank charge the enemy, that enemy is in serious trouble. And right here we're going to use the veteran Roman legionaries. And the general fell. Now that was not... Was it Julius Caesar? No, Julius is here. It was one of our generals, though. He actually died in battle there. Extremely frustrating. Let's go ahead and see what else we can do. At this point, I want our men to run. I really, at this point, I actually hope they disperse because we could charge in there. Now, we did disrupt this unit. See if we could break the warband. Wow, they held firm. What we will do, guys, we'll take a look here at the casualties. And another thing you probably want to keep in mind, just take a look here at the objectives. If you can rout 40% of the enemy troops, then you basically win. Another way to win is to rout 60% of the troops. Once you rout 60% of the enemy troops, the battle's over no matter what. So even if you have 57, the enemy has 61, you've now won. That's just the way to do it. You only live once. Indeed. Okay, we don't want to retreat from this battle. What we want to do is we want to save, just to make absolutely sure. I'd like to come back to this. So I'm actually going to name this after Richard Bodley Scott, because I won't forget this, this save file. Let's move back, and I want to go ahead and show you guys the current casualties. So this, wow, look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at the casualties right now. So this is going to be, I mean, this is a vicious fight. We've wounded 9,365 of the enemy. We've killed 3,085. We've nearly lost about 2,000 men ourselves, but you can definitely see that we are faring much better than the enemy is here, without a doubt. Best save name is Agrippa, don't forget, indeed, Pixel. Yes, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Welcome, man. Musso, if you could drop everybody's channels down below. I want to show you guys the Matrix and the Slytherin channels so that you guys can also subscribe to us there. Obviously, if you're new to the stream, you should definitely subscribe now to the Twitch. We're going to be having some more Field of Glory before release, and especially the day before release or the day of release. I'm going to be doing really, really large stream. I hope you guys will show up. I'd love to see you guys there. And obviously, we can decide what you want to see. Once you guys tell me, hey, Agrippa, we want to see this or we want to see this, we'll take a look. And then hopefully, you guys will pick the game up, and maybe I'll even face one of you in multiplayer on the day of the actual game sale. I think that would be great. Of course, I'll have a little bit more, how can I put this? I'll have just a little bit more experience than you will, but that shouldn't scare you away by any means. So keep that in mind, guys. All right, thank you so much, guys. Take care. Have a great day, and hope to see you again. I love Claudius, one of my favorite emperors. Ciao, guys.